Yes, yes, yeah. Sorry, I wanted to use my little pointer thingy thing because it's a pointer and it's a hand. Anyway, welcome to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast. As you know, it is the only podcast that is always an instant classic because I'm here and him, too. Cool. But you know what? We're talking about Tough Enough. And this week, I don't know if I liked this week. I did and I didn't. Like there were parts where I was like, this is really cool, and then there were parts I was like, I felt my IQ lowering. I really did. But that's more of the reality based side of it. You know, reality shows they make you dumber. But anyway, let's get into it. So let's see. The big surprise this week was a new competitor added, Chelsea. I was honestly kind of pissed off because, for one, they said that she was one of the original in the group during the training camp that got eliminated. She wasn't one of the final 13 or whatever the number is, 14, whatever. So I was kind of upset because I didn't even remember her at all. Like I don't know if you did, DJ, but I didn't remember her at all. I would have wanted them to bring like somebody that we remembered back. I don't know, like a certain, redhead that was awesome. Just saying. No, but I honestly did not remember this Chelsea girl at all. She didn't stick out to me. I don't know if she did to you, if you remembered her. But it was just weird that they actually did bring somebody back because it's like, okay, are you just going to replace people if they leave? Like I mean, I guess it does, it doesn't shorten the show like it would have because one did leave, so that would have shortened it by a week. So I guess, it helps. But I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Any thoughts on that, or if you remembered her?
Yeah, I was watching Raw and they had the Tough Enough people on there. I didn't even know they're gonna be on there. I was necessarily Snapchat on or okay, this should be cool. And Raw segment, there was like a random blonde girl there because this was before the episode, so obviously I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, wait a minute, who is that? I was like so confused on who this new random girl was. Because I like recognized everybody else, and there's like this random girl. I'm like, who are you? I remember them saying there was only one blonde. What happened? Wait, I'm so confused. But yeah, other than that, like that was like the only thing that confused me. I was like, wait, what? What's going on? But it was a nice surprise. I feel like at least it brought some intrigue to the show. I'm trying to see if I actually wrote any notes about her at all. I know I was like I know I thought it was kind of cool that no, I didn't write anything about her. So I just thought it was kind of cool to have somebody in there. But usually when someone quits, you don't replace them with anybody, and it seems like that's been a lot of this show. At least this year, it's been a lot of like replace. But anyway,
Yeah. I don't know. I would have liked them to brought somebody back that stands out a little bit more at least because she's just another blonde. There was nothing really that stood out to me about her. She's just another one of the typical blonde model type girls that. But anyway, so we get another mindless forced fight between Gabby and Amanda. I didn't even write any notes about what the fight was about. I just wrote a mindless fight because again, that's the reality side of the show. A lot of the fights do seem really forced and just for to get views on the show, I guess. Any thoughts on that fight?
I mean, not really. I mean, it was forced.
I didn't even need to mute for that one.
Like why?
So anyway, this week's guest is King Barrett, which I was kind of, it was pretty cool. The challenge was cutting a promo. This I was actually excited for this one. So there was two parts to this. Part one was just an in-ring, in the training ring, single promo. Their first promo, see what they can do. All of them were just kind of really dull and lifeless. None of them really jumped out for me as their first promo. Barrett did give them some critiques a little bit, some pointers and things like that, which I liked. I did love Mata getting up in Barrett's face, though. That kind of, showed something, and I would definitely like to see Mata's Pharaoh character. Like, even if it was just like one match, I would love to see that actually come to life, because I feel like that could be the way he does it. It could be a cool character. Obviously, it would probably be just like a jobber, but I feel like that would be pretty cool. Any thoughts on that first part of the challenge in their first promo?
Yeah, the thing about Mata that makes him stand out is he's really like he's intense, like, but he was like inside of his character intense. Where like he was like really like in your face about it. Like I feel like if I rolled up on him, he would like be the same way with me. If I like did something wrong to him, he would be like all up on me about it. I like that he was intense about it. It set him apart from everybody else, because Patrick, when he does promos, it's intense, but it's like it's always the same, around about the same type of thing. Whereas with Mata, it was different. It was kind of that Pharaoh type of thing, and I love that they incorporated the characters from last week. At least some of them did. Incorporated the characters from last week, because that shows at least you may not have gotten the entrance, but you can build on the character from last week, which I like. Regardless of what Patrick thought about Josh's his accent, I feel like it was still him at least trying to build on that character. Doesn't hurt anything. Obviously Josh is my boy, so I gotta stick up for the man. But but anyway.
Oh yes, we'll get to that in a second. So part two was at the Improv. If you don't know what that is a comedy club, a famous comedy club. But they weren't there for comedy. They were there to do the part two of the challenge was doing a head-to-head promo battle. So they were kind of paired up and went against each other, which was kind of cool. I like that idea. First, we had Mata versus Josh, and I thought this one was going to be good coming out, starting out. Mata's was very intense. Again, I would love to see that character. I feel like he does it really well. Josh did his British brawler character with that accent, which is just so bad. I'm sorry. It is just so bad. Anyway, so Chelsea went up against Gigi. Chelsea made me feel bad for her. Like, that's how bad her promo was. There was just nothing. And I really liked Gigi's. I like how she kind of said, they call her Gigi because there's two sides of her. There's G-licious and the G-force. I like that she kind of brought a little bit of a character out there. And I would love to see if she was picked and she won. I would love to see her kind of use that in her character. G-licious and G-force. That would be pretty cool. But so next we had Tanner versus Patrick. I feel like Tanner is that classic case of, he's gonna be good in the ring, I feel like, but he doesn't need to necessarily talk on the mic. I feel like there's just guys who don't really need to be able to talk. They can just, perform well in the ring. And I feel like he will be able to perform well in the ring. But his promo there wasn't anything to it, I didn't think. Patrick, starting off, he started off saying he's gonna, lay it into Tanner hard and deep. I was like, whoa, this is still the PG era. You need to calm down there. I'm not sure kids are allowed to watch this anymore. Um, but his promo was awesome. I hate him. I feel like out of the group he stands out, but I feel like if he went into like the main roster or TNA, he wouldn't stand out. With guys like Jay Lethal, with guys like Kenny King, he just wouldn't stand out compared to guys like that who are kind of similar character wise to him. Similar personality wise, he wouldn't stand out to them. But anyway, his promo was really good. I liked it. I feel like he's really good on the mic so far. We obviously haven't seen any of these guys really in the ring too much, so we can't really say, oh, he's better in the ring, or he's better on the mic than he is in the ring. But he was definitely good so far on the mic. So Gabby versus Amanda. Uh, Gabby has no idea what a promo is. She's up there basically giving a speech about herself. Amanda's wasn't great either, but it was still much better than Gabby's because at least it was a promo. It wasn't just like I'm here because of this, this, and this, and I was like, okay, that's not a promo, but all right. So next, the best one of the night, I think, Sarah Lee versus ZZ, the two adorable scamps of Tough Enough. Sarah's just too sweet to give a convincing promo. I even think like she's nicer than Natalia, and Natalia is like super nice, like polite. She's just too nice. I think. She also kind of messed up her promo, her wording a little bit there, which kind of got a good reaction from the crowd. They it was awkward. ZZ's was funny, saying that in the bayou, if a mosquito flew by Sarah, she would fall over. You know, I just felt like these two needed to hug it out like Daniel Bryan and Kane. Just hug. We don't need a promo. But Jericho tells ZZ and Sarah that they need to kind of switch gears, and he tries to provoke Sarah a little bit into changing her nice girl character. Doesn't really work too well. It works a little bit, but not really. Then after this, we went backstage at the Improv. Or actually before that, we went back to the judges. Hogan says Sarah is trying. Paige disagrees, and she says it's just getting frustrating. Any thoughts on these the promo battles?
Yeah. I definitely, I was intrigued by this because, I'm fine with this show having these weird challenges, especially when it all comes back to what's done in the ring, promo wise, character wise, in ring wise, all of that. I'm fine with that. And, I like this because, it allowed, at first I was like, I'm not sure. But then after I thought about it, it allowed them to kind of have that on stage presence in front of people that you wouldn't, you may not get to see, or you may not get to kind of be a part of if you don't make it, or as part of this reality show. I thought it was really cool to see that. Yeah, I liked Mata's because it was different, it was unique. I liked Patrick as well. I think he did a good job of kind of doing a good job of attacking whoever he saw. Obviously that. Yeah, I really like this challenge. After I thought about it, after I got a chance to kind of look at it and be like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense to what it could be. As far as Jericho getting in Sarah's face, I feel like it's one of those things where when you make someone like they're trying their best to like make these people be kind of what they're not at times. And Sarah is just a nice girl, you know. You can you can't like you can and you see it with characters all the time. It's hard to turn somebody who's just as a person a face, turn him heel, and then like for it to actually work out positively. Some people can do it, but other people can't. You know, like that's just how it is. And I feel the same way with Sarah. Like they're trying too hard to make her a mean girl. You know, maybe with time she can like build the character to be a mean girl, but you know, you can't force someone to be mean when they're not when that person isn't in them to a certain degree. You know, you can't force them to be just ridiculous. I don't know. That's what I don't understand with that. And like, it just seems like they just keep getting on her about it. And I'm like, what about these other people who are doing the exact same thing and you're not saying anything to them? I agree with her with that case in point, but you know, I just don't. She's too nice to be mean. Come on. She added me on Snapchat. That's nice. You know, I'm not even big yet. You know, eventually. You know, but anyway.
And this is, kids, is why John Cena cannot turn heel. He's just too nice. You know, he's in that. Sorry. You kind of opened up a little bit of a, John Cena rant there for me, and I went for it. You know, it's just I got to go for it when it's there. Anyway, um, at this point, we went to a commercial, and I don't know if anyone else thought this, but I was, I looked at how far in the episode we were, and it seemed like they had done a lot so far in the episode, and we were still had a lot of it to go. And I was like, what else are they gonna do? Like, they already did the challenge, they already did the, drama in the barracks. I was kind of like, okay, is there a lot more? Like, what's going on? But also, what's really making me mad about Tough Enough this season is they had a commercial for how they're on Periscope. They're also on Snapchat. They do more actual training on Periscope and Snapchat than they do on the actual show on the USA Network. What the hell? Like, what's the point of me watching the show if I can just watch more actual training on Snapchat or on, if I go on Periscope? Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know if you kind of thought about that or agree with that, but it doesn't make sense to me. Any thoughts on that, or should I just?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
definitely
definitely.
agree. Um,
Um,
you know, I definitely, you know, I see that. You know, there's more training outside of, you know, outside of the realm that everyone, you know, the viewers see. I feel like they're trying too hard to make this a reality show, and to make it. They're trying too hard to make it less about wrestling and more about, or less about, you know, what you're gonna see on Monday nights than it is about, you know, it's more reality. That I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like that it's a reality show. That's what it's supposed to be. But there's just too much of that like reality aspect for this show. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't like it. You know, I like the show, but I don't like that there's so much outside of it that like I don't even get to see. Like I had no idea they were on Periscope or Snapchat until you just said it just now. Well, Periscope on the show, but Snapchat just now. So, you know, I'm just kind of, you know, like, why can't you show me a little bit more? You know, when I look at past seasons, there was so much more like physical stuff they were doing outside of what they've done this season. And I'll talk about that more like when we get to this physical challenge or this physical whatever we're calling it.
yeah. So the challenge winners were Gigi and Patrick. Gigi, okay, I liked hers. I did not agree with Patrick. I thought that Mata's was 10 times better. Um, I don't know. Do you agree with that? Was there anyone you thought was better, or?
Um, I think I think I agree with Patrick. I feel like Mata didn't win because Mata's was too much of a character. Because you got to look at it from the standpoint of who's watching it too. There, it's just kind of people who just happen to be there. I guess I don't know. I don't know how they did that, how they got that crowd there, or whatever. But I feel like the crowd was looking more for like who the person. I felt like I don't know. That's what it seemed like, and I guess that's why Patrick won. In my personal opinion, um, I kind of agree that Patrick wins. But then again, Mata to me, I liked it, but to a certain degree, at times for other people like watching it, it was kind of over the top. If you're not looking for like a character, in Mata.
Yeah, but I feel like that's what professional wrestling is. Just over the top characters, larger than life characters. That's what Undertaker is. That's what Kane is. That's what Daniel Bryan is. So I can kind of agree with both of them. You know, but oh well, So backstage we get the fight that I said. Patrick basically versus Mata and Josh. Just arguing about who was better. Patrick saying that the time of the big guy is gone. He says Ultimate Warrior's gone. Hulk Hogan's retired. Any thoughts on the backstage brawl?
Yeah. um, I definitely, I thought this was intriguing. When the fight is more intense, it doesn't feel as pushed. I feel like, it just seems like the guys are just on whoever is winning at the time, right? Like no one's even talking about Tanner anymore. And I still think he's doing pretty good, but he's just not like being declared as the winner of these challenges. So I feel like everybody's just jumping down the throat of whoever wins, and then they have the like gall, I guess you could say, to call him cocky. I'm like, why being cocky? He's just saying I won. like like I mean, he did win, so he's got to a certain degree a little bit of room to boast. But what I really liked is when he talked about how it was in 1980 and said the big guy's time was over. And as soon as he said this, I was like, I guarantee you Hulk Hogan's going to say something about this. I know he's going to say something about this. And, like, I think it was taken out of context, what he said. Like, he didn't mean, like this is how I read it from him. I read it that, and we say it all the time as fans. We want to see the smaller guys sometimes, right? I mean, for the most part, we want to see the smaller guys do their thing, and I feel like that's how he feels. He wants to see himself as a smaller guy, kind of win this, and I was like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like, you, it's not that there's nothing guys, but yeah, at times you do want to see smaller guys do their thing. I think we've said it as fans multiple times on this podcast right here and wherever we are right now. And but I don't know how you felt about that because you didn't really give any thoughts about that, and I was surprised because I know that's kind of something we always end up talking about on here is the fact that we kind of we want to see those guys like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and um, you know quote not John Cena from Casey's words not not be the champion.
I mean, yeah, but and we have said it many, 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 many times. That we want to see the smaller guy, the more average size guy, make it to the top. But we don't go, whether it was intentional or not, we don't go and disrespect the legends that paved the way. Hogan, especially two of the biggest, Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. It's not like he just said some random big guys' names that weren't really that big. Like he said probably two of the biggest from the 80s and early 90s. So he like I feel like it was a little bit intentional there. It might not have been totally like taking a jab at them, but it was definitely to get attention on him. Not necessarily good attention, but and I feel like the fight was a little bit forced too. Just with the throwing the drink in his face, that seemed stereotypical reality show fight. Um, but anyway, let's go into another stupid forced argument between the girls in the barracks about Gabby not ever being in the bottom three and never winning a challenge. Any thoughts on this?
I mean, whatever. You know, I don't. I don't think Gabby was right in saying like she's holding back because she's being professional. I'm like, no, not at all. But I do agree with Sarah's point though too, and probably because Sarah's the cute, adorable girl that everybody wants to win. But to a certain degree, Gabby and Sarah have struggled in the same aspects. But if you look at Gabby, she's been in more scuffles and more fights and stuff, so she has more camera time, and that's what I don't like about this year's Tough Enough is the judges see what we see. Um, they don't get to they don't see the actual training. Like if it was Jericho preparation and stuff like that, it would be a little bit different because he's been there. He's been actually on the show. He was at the promo contest. He sees it front and center. But us, we only see part of the story. We don't see everything, and I feel like that kind of puts the judges kind of ties the arm behind their back a little bit, or closes one eye, however you want to say it. Because they don't really get to see the whole story. They only get to see a little bit of it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I kind of don't like that Lita, Booker, and Billy aren't even like there for the live, even to put their kind of 2 cents in to say, okay, this guy's doing this or this girl is doing this or not doing this, because they're there. They're, actually training them, which is another thing I don't like about this season that, the coaches and the trainer or the judges and the coaches are separate. I liked in the past seasons where they were the same. I don't know, but anyway. So you guys well, first of all, let me go through the Chelsea and Tanner situation. I have no words. It was just really forced and just bad and typical reality show segment. Any thoughts on the?
He muted himself before he even got finished. That's how forced this was. He forced himself not to talk. Yeah, you know, I'm always a fan of showmances, I guess you could say. I even know the terminology. I'm always a fan of showmances in reality shows. I just think it's just a funny thing people react to. Tanner he just got the juice, man. It's what it is. No, I don't know what they did with this thing. I never even saw him going after Sarah. I don't remember this going after Sarah thing he was going for. But he said he did. He said it didn't work out, so Chelsea was, just happened to be the new girl, and uh, but yeah, she's happened to be the new girl sitting in the corner all alone, and just happens to conveniently wrestling's so convenient today, just conveniently come in and get the kiss and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I just like showmances. I just kind of want to see. I think they kind of did this for a reaction, right? If it was a forced thing, if it wasn't, kind of a staged, whatever, they did this for a reaction. Obviously, they want to see how the fans are going to react, and they want to see, how the other contestants are going to react. Like how, well, he's so focused on Chelsea, he can't win. It's coming. It's coming. So, you know, you know.
I just no. Anyway, let's get back to the show. And if you're not sitting down, you might want to sit down for this. They actually learned some wrestling moves. I know, right? Like, I didn't even know they did that on this season. They learned wrestling moves? This is a show about wrestling? Whoa. Anyway, they learned shoulder tackles and body slams featuring the hairless Marcus Louis. And they said that they had already learned, the lift for the slam, which is all they did. So I don't know why they were saying body slams, because no one actually did a body slam except for Marcus Louis I don't know. The logic in this just makes no sense, but whatever. First they all practiced the lift for the slam. Sarah had a lot of problems with this. I feel like there's always one person in every season who has a problem with either the body slams or the back body drops or something to do with worrying about falling on their head, which causes them to almost fall on their head. It's a weird dynamic there. So then they kind of put the shoulder tackle and the scoop together combination. Again, Sarah was struggling. The top two best were Chelsea and Josh. Any thoughts on this? Not really challenge, but learning actual wrestling.
Yeah, they actually learned, actual wrestling this week. I've been watching the 2011 season while I've been watching this one to kind of compare and contrast the differences side by side. And I'm even going back to the very first season to see the differences side by side with that too. And I don't even know what this season is doing, to be honest, because just looking at 2011 season, and I've gotten through I think 4 or 5 weeks in that they've done like it was all repetition there with that. Like they did the whole headlock, throw into the ropes, shoulder tackle, leapfrog thing. I know about 100 times in that do it like the first episode, and then they just kept doing it throughout the first, those next 3 or 4 weeks, and that's what's weird about this season to me. They haven't done anything like that. Um, and I don't know if it's because they have like this developmental system that they're gonna, ship you off into before you go to the main roster, and that's why they're not really pushing so hard. But like, I don't understand why, they haven't done anything like that. Like that kind of taking a bump and taking it over and over and over again until you can't take it anymore. They even had them taking a splash and then getting slammed 5 times in the 2011 season. They haven't even scraped the surface of doing that. That was like week 2, I think, or something like that. Like, I don't understand why they can't do more in ring stuff. I love the outside the ring stuff, and it all does connect. But I feel like maybe it's because they have NXT where they're gonna allow them to grow even more in the ring. That's why they're not like forcing this kind of physical stuff on them. I just don't really know, because I even in this I felt like everything was really weak. There wasn't any really impressive things. Like even the shoulder tackles. Like when I watched that 2011 season, the shoulder tackles were like they looked like they really could do some damage. Where in this one they were really soft. A lot of them. Some of the bumps were really bad. Like falling to the ground was really bad. Like there was just some stuff like where I'm just like, is there like this huge like curve we're putting them on or something? Like I don't understand. I don't know. I don't really understand what's taking them so long to get to this wrestling stuff.
Yeah, it's just they don't the stuff that they do doesn't look good at all. It looks like I I I've seen people in their first wrestling class ever look better than they do now. And this is basically what it is, their first wrestling class ever, 3 weeks into the show. Like, it doesn't make sense. And if they are doing that, since there is NXT, they're going to train them at NXT. What the hell is the point of having Tough Enough? Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Just do another reality show where they're looking for somebody to train. what's the point of having Tough Enough if you're not going to do what Tough Enough was originally meant to do? Um, and anyway, before we go on more rants about how this season is weird and stupid, and I don't want to blame Chris Jericho, but Chris Jericho, I don't know. You know, so after this, this was the awkward part of the show. You know, I feel like every week there's one awkward part. After this, they went to a live camera shot of Sarah at the live part of the show with no music or anything. And there was a second there where it was just on her, nothing, no sound, nothing. And then finally the music hit. It was just this weird, awkward miscue, which I was like, come on, you do Raw every week and you can't do this? Like, come on now. I don't know if you noticed that or thought that was weird, but I was like, are they going to do something here? Like, any thoughts on that?
It was so funny because like she knew the camera was on her, and she's like, I don't want to look, I don't want to look, I don't want, because they just, I think they just had her like, just just getting doing horrible in this physical challenge, and then all the focus is on her. They got this like really like zoomed in shot of her, and she's like, I don't want to look. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. And then finally, her eyes just happen to go over. You're like, I don't want to look, but I will. Like for a second, maybe it won't catch me. I caught you. I caught you.
Yes. So awkward. But anyway, it's here. It's here, ladies and gentlemen. It is drill time, baby. See, I got to use the baby. Yeah, that's right. Anyway. So yes, we get the weekly drill. So Paige calls out Sarah. What a surprise there. That came out of left field. I had no idea Paige was going to call out Sarah. Anyway, she says that, when she first saw a picture of Sarah, she thought that she was edgy and had something, but, she just seems to not be able to do anything. And it's more frustrating than anything at this point. Daniel asks Sarah if she thinks it was fair for Billy to yell at her. I forgot exactly what she said back to either one of them. I forgot to write that down. But I was thinking, I don't know that it's, fair or not fair that Billy yelled at her. They're treating them a lot, nicer on a reality show than they would actually be treated in an actual professional wrestling school. If you ever watch any, like, if you go on YouTube and watch any, like, professional wrestling schools, they're not, as nice as they are on Tough Enough. They're going to, kind of break you down and, make you tough enough to be in the professional wrestling business. So it's not, yeah, they're going to yell at you. Yeah, they're going to rip into you, but it's for a reason. And I don't know. But anyway, Hogan kind of calls out Mata and Patrick. He says that Mata's promo was great. He was, in character. Even, he even thought the yelling, even though the yelling isn't really kind of needed these days, you don't necessarily need that over-the-top character since it's more of the reality era, I guess we're in now. But I still liked it, like as I said. As for Patrick, Hogan was kind of upset at, Patrick's comments during the fight between him and Mata, saying that Ultimate Warrior is gone, Hogan is retired. Hogan says that he could take Patrick right now in the ring and make him look like a fool. But the thing is, you don't work. You work with your opponent. You don't work them over in the business. You work with each other to make the match good. Which I like. I like that he kind of pointed that out. It's not. It is competitive, but when you're in the ring, you're working together to make the best match that you can, to make the crowd happy, to make the WWE universe happy with that match. Any thoughts on the critique or the drilling this week?
First off,
First off,
it was
it was
much
much
better
better
than last
than
week.
last week.
Last week was absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. It was bad, but it was much better than last week. At least they asked some like legit questions, like why do you want to be here? How do you kind of react to Billy? Laying it into you, I guess you could say. Uh, and I feel like Hogan was a bit bitter, in his approach. I don't think he felt like because he basically said Pax Pro himself, and I don't think that's how he felt. I think he was mad because of that comment he made, and he was kind of, you know, kind of similar to what Patrick was doing because he was mad, so he just reacted, and that's what Hulk was doing. Hulk was mad, so he just reacted. You guys are so similar. You guys should probably work a match or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Hulk can still take him though. Hulk. Not that Hulk is old and all, but I mean he is a little bit. He's up there just a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know if Hulk can do it. I've seen some recent Hulk Hogan matches, TNA 2012, 2013, and I don't want to see any more Hulk Hogan matches. Please don't do it to me. but but yeah, like if I want to go Hulk Hogan matches, $9.99. And you guys know what I mean. That's just a code word. You guys don't know what I mean, then you haven't lived it long yet. You got to get out there. But yeah, I don't know. I was feeling bad for Sarah because you know I was just so sad for Sarah. I got Sarah on Snapchat and I have to see her face all the time, and I'm like, I just feel so bad for you. They treat you so bad. But anyway, I don't know. I just feel bad for Sarah. I just do. I think we all do, right? Just for a little bit. And I agree with you on the wrestling school thing. Um, it's one of those things that they are softer on Tough Enough. Bill DeMont was pretty much probably he was pretty rough when I remember watching Bill DeMont. I don't know. I haven't really seen any wrestling school footage, so I wouldn't know. But Bill DeMont, he's he was ridiculous, is what he was. That's why I'm on. Anyway.
I don't know, but Bill DeMott was also, accused of a lot of abuse, which I don't know if it's necessarily was because I wasn't obviously there. So I don't know, because a lot of these guys that, are going through NXT, some of them didn't go through the indies. Some of them just went to, the WWE, training center, and that's how they got into the business. So they don't realize that, it's not all, lollipops and gumdrops. It's gonna be tough. So I don't know if he's necessarily is abusive. I don't know, but I know there was a lot of accusations from former TNA stars. But anyway, and as for your complete disrespect for Hogan, he can still drop the big leg. Okay, he can still do it.
Can he get up though?
That's not the point.
That's all I got.
He doesn't need to get up. He just needs to roll over for the pin. The ambulance can get him up after that. Anyway, so and as for the legit questions this week, the most legit question of the entire week was asked to Josh by Chris Jericho: how to spell sarcophagus. Yes. Yeah, because I'm not even going to get into it. If you didn't watch the show, go watch the show. You'll understand. Anyway, so the bottom three was Sarah Lee, chosen by Paige. Not really surprised. Gabby, chosen by Daniel Bryan. And Tanner, chosen by Hogan. And this week, instead of their final plea, they did another promo on the judge that nominated them for the bottom three, which I kind of liked. So Gabby did a promo on Daniel. She still has no idea what a promo is. She's just up there giving basically a resume or a sales pitch, I'm convinced that she's never actually seen professional wrestling before. Because how can you have ever seen professional wrestling and not at least have an idea of what a promo is? Like, I don't understand at all. It, I don't know. Anyway, Tanner on Hogan. He started off pretty strong and went down really fast. I mean, it was like a plane shot down. He just went. Bleh. Hogan tried motivating him, but that didn't work. I don't know. And then Sarah Lee did a promo on Paige. She actually did pretty well. Still a bit smiley, but I felt like she actually made it work. Paige got up in her face, and actually Paige was impressed. Paige, clapped for her. So I feel like she just needed that push, that kind of getting in her face to kind of, get it out of her. And I feel like she is kind of, starting to get that come out of her shell a little bit. Any thoughts on the either the bottom three or the final promos?
At first, I thought Hogan's ego was gonna get the best of him here, and he was gonna put Patrick in the bottom three because like all of it made sense. And then he was like Tanner. I was like, okay, you better not put Patrick in there if he won the freaking the thing. That's not right, But yeah, the second chance promos, I did like them. I thought Tanner's was decent. Sarah Lee got her. Let's be honest. Come on, she did her thing. I liked it. It was at times a bit awkward because I just don't see Sarah Lee right now. I don't see Sarah Lee getting up in your face and being mad at you. She's kind of one of those people that's gonna, kind of let it brush off a little bit and get it done in another way. And Gabs, come on, man, really? Okay, first, and this is like pretty much my only point. She started off with, "Hi, Daniel. I'm done." That's all I got. Like she started off with, "Hi, Daniel." Really? That's how you start a promo? Like I wish The Rock would have came to Stone Cold and be like, "Hey, Stone Cold," and then just said a bunch of gibberish after that. We would not know who the man was. Gabby, what are you doing with your promo skills? You need help with cutting a promo. Like, oh my god. Hi, Daniel. What? What?
Just think about this. Imagine if Austin was the host this season. That would have been amazing if she said, "Hi, Daniel." He would have stopped her and just, oh my, that would have been awesome. It would have just been an automatic elimination. He would have been like, "Get out, just get out." But yeah, the "Hi, Daniel." I'm not even surprised with the elimination. But anyway, the elimination, Gabby, finally. And I don't know, did you see Renee Young's face after, when she did the interview after Gabby said she was happy she was going home? Renee just had this, she kind of shook her head and had this kind of look of disgust on her face. I was like, yes, even she is just, oh. Any thoughts on the elimination or her comments?
Yeah, I mean, I understand what she's saying. Saying she's quote happy to be gone. That's one of those things where like the drama and everything kind of gets to you, I guess. But then again, Renee Renee Young, I almost fell out of the chair laughing at her face though, because it was like it was another one of those things where you're expecting the camera to go somewhere else, and it doesn't. And I think that's what Renee was expecting. Like she was not expecting that to be caught, or she was trying to be subtle about it, but she was just so confused on like she she was just thinking, why are you here? And I agree. Like, I understand like the drama does get to you, but you can't let that get to you either, because you're there to win the competition. You're there to be a WWE superstar. It just goes to show that she wasn't ready for the contest. No, she wasn't ready. She wasn't ready. Like she wasn't. Uh, yeah, I'm glad she got eliminated. You can tell. I don't know how valid this fan vote is, but you can tell Sarah Lee is just lovable, though, right? Come on, 63% compared to the rest of them. She's just lovable. Come on, you can't help but.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like even if Gabby was trying to say, she's happy she's leaving, but it would give her a chance to kind of work harder and come back. I feel like if that's what she was trying to say, she could have worded it a lot better than just saying she's happy to be going home. It just, again, if she's just couldn't take the drama, what was the point of wasting their time? Somebody else could have had that spot and done a lot better, and actually maybe knew what a promo was. How do you not know what a freaking promo is? I'm sorry. It just that blows my mind. Honestly, blows my mind that you are on Tough Enough, a WWE show, World Wrestling. How do you not know? I'm sorry. Anyway, before my mind explodes because I can't comprehend this, that is our Tough Enough review for this week. So, got a new girl. Gabby's eliminated. We know how to spell sarcophagus. So I feel like it was a successful week. I feel Marcus Louis still doesn't have hair. So I feel like all in all, this was a successful week. We didn't get the right girl back that we wanted. We got this bland Chelsea chick who I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and watch and see if I see her at all because I don't remember it at all. But we will see you next week. Got another video coming up tonight. Hopefully we'll do it tonight. A little bit of a different video than what we've done before. Similar but different. You'll see what it is. You'll see. You just wait. You just wait right there. Wait right there. Wait right there. And while you're waiting right there for us to come back, how about you go follow the Twitter? That would be cool. Follow us on Twitter. We don't post as much as we used to, but we do. We try to. We're trying to do some more news and stuff like that. But I feel like news has been a little bit dead this past couple weeks. I feel like the last big news was Dusty Rhodes passing, and then kind of it went dead for a while. That I probably should not have used the term "gone dead" after. Anyway, that was bad wording. I apologize. Rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes. Anyway. By the way, we did see Stardust's first match after that, which was kind of cool. I would have liked to have seen Goldust too, just to see both of them together after the passing. And he actually did really well in the match. I wasn't expecting, after somebody passes, I was expecting him to kind of not be on his game fully, but I felt like it was a really good match. Anyway, that's it for the show. We will be back in a little bit for the next video, and you'll see what that is. It has to do with divas. So that could, decide if you're going to watch it or not. But watch it, because it's actually good. It's not the typical diva video that you would think. We're actually happy with it. So we'll get to you just stop the video now. It's done. We're done. Bye.